Alright, so what's happening, Wells?
We are actually launching our product again. I think it's funny because as early stage startup, you're always just launching and launching over and over again. And that's something basically we're working on. But the good thing is this though, this time when we're launching, right? We actually already do have paying customers, so we have some validation. Because the worst is that when you code or something and next thing you know, nobody uses it. And even if they do use it, which a thing that we had ran into is that people still don't end up paying. And at the end of the day, if that happens, you still got to shut down the project or the startup, right? So our startup Clover right now is a pretty good state. We already finished building out the MVP. And basically what we do is that we allow media teams to search through hundreds of hours of footage, all their assets, through natural language. You can search for like happy moments, sad moments, or anything really, and it will pull up the right shot, the right video, whatever it is that you're looking for. So if you watch the last vlog, you know, MVP's done already, but there's a couple little minor changes that we are still actually going to be doing. So I just gotta make some changes and actually think about moving the whole UI stuff to start using Tailwind instead, because I have been noticing that while using Tailwind, AI does one-shot more, which is something helpful, so I can make less tweaks, right, compared to Mantine. The goal at the end of this vlog, well, I guess end of this week, since I make these vlogs on a weekly basis, is that really just trying to get more customers, really trying to get the growth number up and just start iterating based off customer feedback and really get into that next phase of just iterating, talking to customers and getting more customers and just going through that loop over and over again. But right now, got a lot more work to do, obviously some more coding, but also want to prepare for these customer calls, right? With these teams that already paid us, I want to make sure that the demo is good and I have like some good questions lined up to make sure I can get like the most honest feedback and not have any bias with my questions. All right. Let's get to it, man.
Get to work.
This year, full this year, I feel like cooking this one to show general connection. And
Feeling pretty good. We have 2 calls today with the customers already paying, so probably give them the MVP. And Ryan and I were just discussing about what we have to like kind of show them to make sure, you know, obviously the demo works well before we give them the product and different things like that. But I think it's a classic stuff, man. I mean, I think the product's pretty solid, but we're actually missing a lot of the features that we do want to have, right? But at the same time too, it's so important to not fall for the dilemma of taking forever to launch, because me and him, we have done that a lot of times. At this point, I just want to get information and the product is good enough to launch and to at least get feedback. Because once I go through the next phase, right, Brian and I look at this in phases, is first you're building the product, the next phase is iterating with users. Whatever I can do to quickly get to the next phase of iterating with user, that should be the goal. Worked late last night, so we're in the gym, but I feel pretty good. Got my morning coffee in while I get these calls done and got a lot of action today. So let's get it moving.
Bro, ain't no way right now this thing stops working, bro. Bro, literally, about to get on a call with a customer, start my laptop, and why is it updating, dude?
and I thought I was being smart, man. Try to check it before the call, but guess it wasn't early enough. Should have checked it an hour in advance.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
But this is the key thing. Sometimes when things go bad, you just gotta stay calm. At least we have Ryan's laptop we can use. So Ryan, you wanna log into Zoom?
I have the classic setup. We're gonna record every single call.
Because a lot of times we have done a lot of discovery calls, and if we don't record them, it ends up just going to the void. So once we record it, I actually throw into ChatGPT as well, so I can summarize the feedback. That's something I have been using. Really trying to dive into finding out what the user pain points are and gathering the feedback, right? And having a good conversation with them at the end of the day. Feedback on this call to see like what is missing, what is not missing. Obviously still MVP stage. I'm still gonna finish up a lot of UI changes, different features, but just would love to get a round of feedback. So when we process a rest, instantly when you start using it, it's like, okay, this is solid. We can really get going on this. Yeah. How are things going with you since the last time we talked, man? Anything new? So to kind of give you a quick update, there's still a couple things we're adding. Obviously UI changes, also the chat feature, which should be out in like a week basically.
How many ice creams we eating today, bro?
4, bro.
Oh, why 4?
I don't know.
I know you, bro. I know you on that boat.
You be seeing me, bro? Yeah, I miss my boy Subi though, bro.
How many ice creams today, Dante?
How many ice creams? 14.
What?
Dude, Ryan, honestly, so much has happened today.
Bro.
It's been a long day. A good long day, though. Like, a lot has happened, so it felt like a very long day. But, the call went well today. It's funny because the truth is that your brains always exaggerate everything, and what often happens to me is the truth is in the middle instead. And before I got the call, I was a little bit nervous because these users are paying already, and when you look at your own product, you never feel like it's good enough. But it turns out that the users really did like the product and they thought it was good. Obviously, they gave a couple different feedback as well. But something interesting also happened is that the features that I thought were important, right, that I thought the users would want when I brought it up with them, turns out that they didn't care about it at all. And they actually suggested a different list of features that they themselves were actually looking forward to. And that's why it really also just reminds me how important it is to just like ship it, honestly. Like think about what is the core MVP that you are shipping, like the core problem you are solving, and just only solve that. But honestly, right now, I'm so pumped to start shipping again because I know what we need to ship and just get it done and give the users what they want.
Where are we at right now, housemate?
We're at the garage.
What's the garage, bro? Magical toys?
It's a bat cave, bro.
What are you guys doing right now?
Dude, it's complicated, bro. So we're like, we shipped something important for work, and then we're kind of trying to ship the ship post real quick.
So we actually came to the Magical Toys office today to work, and they're actually also a Founders Inc. portfolio company. They make these dinos actually that can talk. So the conversation always new, so the kids never get bored of them, and they can also learn from the dino. It's a really really cool startup. And right now the CEO for Teens, he's actually in a call right now in the meeting, so probably gonna get out of here before it gets too late. Crazy because this place has no windows, right? So next thing you know, you're working and working and working and having fun with your boys. We got some good food, and it's already like 8:30, so gotta go home right now, get that sleep in. Today was a good day. Moved the ball forward. Nothing really crazy happened, and I think that's usually what happens at a startup is that day by day you're just trying to get to that another state that something else will happen, right? But just a daily grind of moving the ball forward, writing code, making content, simple stuff. I was already on the verge of drinking another coffee right now just to pull all-nighter just because why not, But I don't want to do that because I end up getting too tired and I burn out. So I'll go home right now, get some good rest, and tomorrow wake up and do the same stuff again.
What are you cooking up right now?
I saw a bunch of really cool launch videos, and it made me disappointed with my garage announcement video. So I'm adding more to that video now to make it even better.
So what's demo day, Aiden?
Founders Inc. Demo Day is your chance to hear from the best startups in San Francisco. We invited 100 founders to this space, not this room particularly, but the rest of them are outside over there. 60 demos in 60 minutes. Everyone gets 60 seconds. Fort Mason, San Francisco. So pull up.
Animated, bro. Luma link, description down.
Luma link. Apply.
Apply. Come to demo day. See us there. You see me, you see him. You got the hard drives?
We got the hard drives, man.
How long did it take us to find it, bro?
Took a long time. Had to check like 3 different locations, but it was on the desk right here. So it is now secured. But yeah, bunch of hard drives in here, lots of footage. They asked to ship it to us, and obviously me and we were like, of course, ship it to us, we'll process it for you. Super pumped to start processing this and just get this going and give the users some more footage to like sort through. So.
Why are you looking so stressed for?
Trying to get this campaign going, man.
So we're working on, Ryan. What are you working on?
Well, we just set up the email campaign for Smart Lead, so that's gonna get rolling today. I'm just working on some messaging for Sales Nav outreach messages. So that's also done. So I'm just kind of cleaning up the account right now so it doesn't get banned.
Basically, like Ryan said, we're trying to do more outbound right now and really just trying to get more users. We have a couple of these good media teams working with us already, but we need more users to be able to get more feedback. Something we've been talking about is this. It's great when you have 2 or 3 of these media teams telling you about these different features, and you are going through this iteration loop with these customers, right? But how are you able to prioritize what feature you're building for unless you have more customers? Basically, if let's say we have 10 or 20 customers right now, maybe the data will be skewed differently. If more people are requesting for a certain feature, then that definitely means that there's more demand for it, then we should build that out. But if you have less than 5 of these like customers, then a lot of times something that can be scary too is that you build out a solution only made for only like, let's say 3 of these customers, right? So we're trying to do more outbound, so we will be able to better prioritize and iterate based off these feedback loops and have more data. Inbound right now is going pretty well with the content, so we're able to get on calls with different people that might be potentially interested on, trying Clova. But we haven't really done much outbound yet, so that's what we're trying to work on right now. Trying to keep the email concise that we're writing with. First time really trying out cold emailing, to be honest with you. So if you guys are interested to hear more about this cold emailing journey, about how outbound works, I can also share more about this in the future vlogs. Dude, we finally moved to a new place. I'm so hyped right now, Ryan.
Yes, sir, bro.
The best part about this new place is that we're living with our boys from the office, and also it's an 8-minute walk to the gym and an 8-minute walk to the office. So everything's like super close by. So Ryan and I were actually going to be returning our car back to like Southern California. But let me show you guys our temporary room for now. Yeah, so this is my side of the room right now, and that's Ryan's side. Sorry, it is a little bit messy just because we did just move in. And it's actually also temporary. We're just going to be sharing a room right now before one of our last housemates, Fatin, moves out, since we'll be moving out this month. And we didn't really want to just be like, make him get a really expensive Airbnb. So Ryan and I just offered to, split the room for now. So yeah, dude, I'm so happy right now, Ryan, because we were staying at our friend's mom's house and she was like the sweetest lady, but it's still not like really our place, But what's also crazy is that, when we first moved here, we were living in a bunk bed at our friend's mom's house, and obviously we're sharing a room right now. And when I talked to my sister about it, she was like, dude, that's like pretty crazy that you guys are kind of willing to do this with a startup, right? Just to be in San Francisco. But as I talk to more people in SF, like Sharif, like Alex, all these people, it's pretty funny. Everybody else kind of had like a similar background just because of how expensive the city is. And people just want to come to San Francisco for tech. And that is really the best part about, I think, this city, is that you get surrounded by a lot of these different people who are willing to do whatever it takes. And before I moved to San Francisco, it was pretty hard to find people who are so dedicated to their work or their job. And it's interesting to see that most of the people here who are doing the startup stuff also don't see as work. But I'm definitely excited to also get my own room soon. I don't mind sharing a room with Ryan, but I think it'll be good, Ryan, if we have our own space.
Yeah. How we doing, boys? Chilling, man. The usual. The lunch, getting ready.
Do I get,
So what's
money,
one
bro?
founder
I
advice,
get
bro?
paid. A founder advice? Put it all on black.
Yeah, so all the rooms were taken today, so we had to do our one-on-one call with Ruslan in the gym today. But we just had a great conversation. Ruslan's always putting us on game, man, Ryan.
Yeah, for real.
But the guy's smart. The guy's really smart. I'm always learning from him. But basically, we do these like bi-weekly calls with Ruslan, and every single week we'll also have ship-ins with Hubert and Ruslan and the rest of the cohorts. But number one learning I think I've learned is that sometimes myself and Ryan, what we're doing wrong when we think about things is that we create problems that doesn't exist yet. When I talked to Ruslan, and I was like, what happens if we get too many people on the wait list? If I make a viral post, wouldn't that be a waste if the product isn't self-service yet? Right now, we manually onboard people one by one, since we're kind of going for more like enterprise big media teams, right? As we're talking about if we start trying the consumer angle. And Ruslan said, look, that is a very valid concern. But the truth is, you don't have that problem yet. So why are you creating that problem in your own head? And he mentioned something interesting. He said is, as a startup, you're supposed to kind of work in reverse. When you're a corporate company, you kind of have something at stake. As a startup, you don't have these problems yet. And you can think about a zillion of these things. And if you always try to over-optimize for everything, you end up not getting anything done. And constantly, the term that gets thrown around Founders Inc. is, what is your A+ problem, right? What is that one thing you have to solve? As a startup, there's always going to be so many other problems, but focus is the most important thing. So that's something I learned today. Again, I thought to share with you guys is that for Ryan and I, we need to focusing on not to create more problems, but what is the problem at hand for us to get to the next phase. So focusing on the A+ problems right now and getting back to work.
Hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm here with Aiden Bloomstein.
Get authentic. What?
What I created today was a launch video for this person that is leading the world's first only AI employee that will actually be your. at the very end, bro. Now I can't use him. Nah.
40K already, bro. Just make it move, huh?
40K, and this guy only has 1,300 followers. Ah, I should have screenshot like how many he had originally, but.
And you're making more launch videos for people? Josh is finally back, dude. So if you're a starter founder and that's Seth, you need launch videos, hit Josh up.
Also, what's up, Jar?
Chicken wing beef.
Hey, we're gonna go out. We're gonna have wings together then.
All right, let's do it.
So people need launch video. What do they find you, bro?
They find me here at I think.
What's you charging? Secret, huh?
It's a custom price for you.
Are you gonna move to San Francisco?
Yeah, tomorrow.
I wish. Good weekend? You have fun, Aaron?
Yeah, it's really fun. It's beautiful here.
No, I'm just kidding.
My older sister, Erin's actually gonna be moving to the East Coast, right?
Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah, she got some exciting life change. I can't announce it yet. But yeah, I'm trying to convince her to move to SF afterwards after a 2-year thing, right, Erin? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so always good time seeing family and stuff. Been a good weekend. I've been hanging with my sister, and honestly, Ryan and I, we've just been grinding, and it's good to grind, and we were talking to a couple people at the office about it too, but also just so important to just kind of take a step back, because when we're just working in San Francisco, right, it really is like this tech bubble you're in. Everybody I talk to now, which is such a blessing, because I always want to be in an environment like this where I am just surrounded by other builders, but you also sort of in a way you turn crazy in a way, because that's all you think about. And it's so important to take a step back sometimes, because a lot of times when you're looking at something like super closely all the time, when you think about something all the time, you don't get new perspective. And truly, everything's really about the balance. Like when we're in Vegas, I really want to be around all these starter founders, but now I have that. It can also be a negative thing of having too much of something. So always trying to tailor my mindset to what is happening in this situation. What we have right now is a great environment, but also important to just hang out with family and really know like what is more important in the long run. Ready to just, grind for the next 2 weeks straight before taking probably like a mini break again soon. I want to write down like a series of phases. Like phases, right? So we had our first phase that we wrote out already. We went from MVP. So Ryan and I, we always try to do these meetings once a week, because the past week we crazy, even though we spent a lot of time together, we haven't been talking too much because we've just been grinding, dude. There were just like so much code to write, so we were just very focused on getting that done. But I think a common problem that we have noticed ourselves is that when, as entrepreneurs, right, and as startup founders, if you're working on a business, you're probably naturally pretty ambitious already. So in a way that you don't really have a problem with the hard work aspect. Like you can already put in a lot of hours of work, and I think that is kind of where we're at. But the problem is this, it's also dangerous when you're a startup founder, because you have so much freedom. It's not a complete input-output thing. You also need to really find like the right direction. And we set a rule for ourselves is every week we need to sit down and we need to discuss. So how we usually break it down is this. We first discuss about the tech side of things with the customers, like what needs to be resolved. So what features are we building? Is this feature really needed? And we go very, very deep on setting deadlines and different things like that. The second thing we discuss is like the business goals. Okay, what is our input? What actions are we taking to get things going? And what are the expected output that we expect, the results that we can't really control besides the input, but what we're going to be expecting to come out of that with those actions we're taking. And lastly, we just discussed a lot about content. So we kind of wrote out the rough idea of this vlog of what's going to kind of happen this week. So I have a general idea of it is, but the truth is a lot of times when I'm recording these vlogs, it's kind of just like, I just bring my camera everywhere, and if I think it's something that's cool, then I record it. But it's also helpful to kind of know what's going to happen during the week, like certain things maybe I for sure want to include. But yeah, really good discussion today. Feeling good. Ready to get back to work.
Looking for a sponsor.
I'd rather just keep growing the channel. I don't really care about getting sponsors right now. I just want to grow the channel. I've never imagined the channel getting this big and people talking in the Discord.
Not only to chat, but also like.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Take care, my team.
Y'all ever play Solid Snake? So you're gonna be able to call Uber, bro.
Dude.
Still work in progress, but.
Dude, that's just took you like what?
Bro, I code, bro. No, I took like 2.5 hours.
Bro, that's at Stanford CS, bro.
Nah, I just locked in for once.
What?
Caffeine, no food, bro.
You're welcome. Anything else on your mind?
You need to act more French.
Put a bit more of that French flair into. You're doing well. Keep it up.
Rushing out.
If you just took a picture and
I
then
have
pasted
15 seconds to it.
it. Take a picture, copy from iMessage, and paste it.
Yeah, but then like, it needs to read it, right?